Hi there, my name is Tajib and welcome back to another The Bazaar video. Today we are going to talk about the patch notes that are introduced on the 16th of April, and all the information that you see is from the Bazaar website. I will link the website in the description. So let's talk about the common items first. We have the catalyst. It has been changed entirely. This is now a loot item and a common item, so anyone can get this. It starts at once and it says when you sell this, transform your leftmost small item. So now it's no longer a reagent that transforms and enchants an item after you buy or sell free reagents, which is quite interesting. Because it's a loot item, more heroes can get it randomly from the level up options. And instead of this being a reagent that you can transform, this transforms your other reagents if you want to transform those. So I'm not sure how much this will impact the game. It will feel different, but I think it's a nice change. The Hakuvian launcher, they just added 1 R. That's it. I think it was misspelled. That's what I'm guessing. Pretty sure they misspelled it because the monster is called a Hakuvian rocket trooper with an R. So yeah, nice that they changed that. And the Traffos is no longer a loot, which I think is a good thing, because when I get this and I'm not pick with a build that says like this item gains more shields equal to the value of this or something like that, I'm like, what do I do with this? It's just 1 extra gold when I sell this. So I think it's a good thing that's no longer a loot. Then we go to the duty items, and this is what this patch is all about, or I think most people are expecting or hoping that there will be changes, and there are changes because all the bugs have been changed and massively nerfed. But before we talk about it, let's just go off the list. Let's first talk about the 3D printer. Instead of transforming into 3 copies of the small item to the left, it will now transform into 3 gold or diamonds. I think that's dependent on what the 3D printer itself is. Copies of the small and also non-legendary item. I don't know if there are small legendary items. Oh yeah, there's one. Singularity. Okay. That's interesting. So it cannot copy the singularity. That's really specific. So you cannot copy a card that will destroy your enemy's small items. Sure. I don't know how much it will impact the thing though, because you're often copying the card that you find the most valuable anyway, and you want that to be at the highest tier. But this can maybe jumpstart your build. If you have like a really good silver small card, you can small item, you can transform this into diamond versions of that item. I would say this is a buff, because most of the time your item will be gold if it's diamond, and this thing is gold and you transform it into gold things, it will be worse, but most of the time I think it's better. And if you find a silver item later on, you could still copy it into diamond versions. Arc Blaster has been changed, an extra cooldown reduction. I think that's pretty nice, because I tried to play tech. It's really harsh. Armor score is now silver. It starts at silver. Yeah, now you shield for 20 and it does not scale. I see. Shield items, oh this and shield items to the right of this gain extra shield. Starts at 20, then to 30, then to 40. Okay, this is a much better starting item. From what I can gather, you basically don't start at the core anymore and you get it a little bit later, but I'm not exactly sure when. Maybe that's day 2. I hope you get an extra bonus to your starting thing, but I have not played match yet, so I'm not actually sure. And I've been really searching on it. It doesn't say anything on the site, so I guess we'll just have to find out together. If I have any updates, there will be a comment down below and I will explain things more clearly when I get to know this new meta or the new changes that they've made. But it is a little bit annoying. Yeah, I was wondering, because this seems kind of strong for the first day. But now we go to the bugs, and this is a big, and I mean a big nerf. This all works really well with each other, because you slow this many items, you freeze this many items, you burn this many items, and then they go off each other, because they say if an adjacent item freezes, charges 1 second, for example, or when an adjacent item slows, charges 1 second, stuff like that. That's of course insanely good, especially if the number is high, but they just reduce everything by 1, and now you can only find it at silver, which I think is a good thing. You can find it a little bit more difficult, because there was also a problem. It's like a friend and a small item, so you could kind of find it really reliably. But now that everything got reduced by 1, they will trigger each other all a little bit less, and they're all a little bit less strong independently. So this is a big nerf. I'm curious on how this will play. I think they're still viable, but they will become good a lot later, and they will not be as good as they were before at diamond and every rank, by the way. I hope this is not too big of a nerf, because all the free players will have unlocked them around this time, or will unlock them around this time, but then when I record this, and it would kind of suck for these players if they're no longer playable. Bomb squad has been changed. Cooldown is now higher. It starts at 10, it goes to 4 eventually though. The burn does not increase when you level this up. You always burn for 6, and when you use an adjacent friend, you haste this for 2 seconds. Okay, so when this is diamond, this will go off every 2 seconds, if it's hasted of course. Okay, I could see myself playing this in a burn duty. Maybe with like the thing that goes off when you use a small item and then you burn also, which is also a friend. Camp Snow has been changed. The cooldown has been increased by 1 second. It poisons now for more, and it slows more items. when you get higher levels, but then just for 1 second. I think that's good. It's still a little bit awkward because you have to wait 6 seconds, so I don't know if it's good. Poison increase is nice, but ultimately when it's diamond you want to have other things, or at least way more poison at that point, so I don't really know. Because army knife cooldown has been changed and it will go down when you level this up. Okay, it deals damage, just 15. It doesn't level up anymore, and it also shields for 15 always. So only the cooldown changes. Okay, these things are kind of interesting. The companion core also now starts at silver. The cooldown will be decreased when we level this up. Okay, and it starts at 2 seconds, goes to 3 seconds, and then goes to 4 seconds. I don't think this really matters, because it was mostly about the haste triggers. But the cooldown being reduced is pretty cool. I don't think this is a bad decision because the bugs have been nerfed, so I think this is probably fine, but 4 seconds core is pretty nasty. Copper adds the same, yeah, your cooldown gets reduced to 4 eventually, and you poison for 3 and you shield for 15 instead of that being increased when you level up. Okay, critical core is now also silver, deals 50 damage. And it increases a lot more. These and the items to the right of this have 30, 45, 60% crit chance. I think this was a much needed buff because I was never playing items on the right of this. Like, I don't even know if I would do it now. Since in a build like this, it's way better to have an item to the left of this. And if it crits on the left as well, this will be charged like 2 seconds. That's insanely good, but this will give now a huge crit chance buff. So if you have like only 40% crit chance and you have this at diamond, you're going to play all your items at the right, and then this will be charged by the items on the right. And all those items will crit, which of course is a huge buff. Same for the ignition core, it's now silver, it burns for 4. No increase of burn anymore when this levels up, but the buff is now higher. This and the winner items to the right of this gain 2 to 4 to 6. So it starts at the same, 2 and 2, then it goes to 4 and then to 6. Nice. Induction Aegis, I'm not sure if you pronounce it like that. It now starts at 7 seconds, goes to 4 seconds, shields for 20, burn for 2. I think I like these changes. Laser pistol has been reduced by 1 second. It's a weapon. Okay, power sender 2. Okay. I'm still not sure if these are good enough, but they are now a little bit better. Robotic Factory, your friends now have an extra multicast and the cooldowns are increased by 2 seconds and at diamond 1 second. So this has a huge nerf. The cooldowns are increased. Alright, so this was really good with the duty that had all of those insects. Those have become worse. But I guess this was a good item in general. Not only did they remove the crit chance, it also gave it another nerf. And those cooldowns being increased is pretty nasty. Maybe that's why all of those friends now have like their cooldown decreased. Could be. Solar Farm has just a word. The word 4 is now gone. Charges for 2 seconds. No, it's not charged as 2 seconds. Okay. The core is now also silver. Its cooldown is reduced when you level up and it will always deal 50 damage. I mean, cooldowns being reduced of course is pretty nice. That is fun. Clusters, I'm not going to go over all of these, but basically it's now silver instead of bronze. Burn tech has... Wait, you had a burn tech? Is that a tech? It has been removed though. It no longer has a cooldown anymore, and it now says that the item to the left of this is a vehicle and has its cooldown reduced by 5, 10 or 15%. The vehicle tech could be really fun to put on something. And instead of slowing, freezing, hasting an item, it now says the first time you fall below half health, slow, freeze, haste, shield, etc. Shiny will give it double cooldown reduction. Deadly will give it that all of your vehicles have extra crit chance. Oh my goodness, you want this in your vehicle build. And that's all the interesting stuff, but whoa, that's really nice. Weaponized core is now also silver, deals 20 damage, and the bonus will be a little bit higher than silver than what it was before, then a little bit higher than it was with gold, and then a little bit higher than it was with diamond. I do like these changes because then it's more about the buff that they give the cards to the right of this, instead of just being good on their own. Welding helmet has been buffed. You shield for more when you level this up, just a little bit though. And you burn a little bit more. Okay, Mantis has been nerfed in the same way as the other insects have been nerfed. Just reduce everything by 1. Alright, those were all of the duty items. So now we go to the mech items. The Alembic has been buffed. At the start of each day, instead of transforming the small item to the left of this into a random potion, it will also get you a catalyst, which will say when you sell this, you transform your leftmost small item. So having this card will make you be able to transform a lot of things, which is super fun. This card just got this added. At the start of each day, get a catalyst. Oh my goodness. That's why they made it a loot item. The Apothecary, I don't know if that's the right pronunciation, will get you a reagent or a catalyst. So it's less reliable in getting you a reagent, but it could get you also a catalyst. Or not also, with a catalyst instead of the reagent. I feel like if you pick a lot of these things up and you transform a lot of things, the cards that say like when you transform a reagent, get extra burn or get extra poison are becoming a lot better. I kind of like it, but I have lost to those builds using those cards before. Avanor, reload adjacent items instead of poisons. Okay, so it's more flexible and you can use it as other characters as well, which I like. at the start of each day you get a catalyst now. Did they just add this to all the cards? Boarding flask is now gold instead of silver. The cooldown is reduced. Okay, I did not really care about the cooldown. And the adjacent points have a multicast and the cooldowns are increased by 2 or 1 second, I see. So this has been nerfed. I think that's a good thing. It was pretty strong. I think it's still strong in the builds that it's being used in. The laboratory now gets you an extra catalyst at the start of each day. The mirror has been transformed like the ice thing. What was the other card before? Doesn't really matter, but it will transform into a gold or diamond copy of the medium non-legendary item to the left of this for the fight, instead of just transforming into the medium item to the left of this for the fight. Mortar and pestle, I think that's how you pronounce it, also get you catalyst at the start of each day. Philosopher's stone no longer gets you a chunk of lead, but a catalyst when you buy it. That's interesting. Quicksilver will transform into a silver, gold or diamond copy. I'm assuming dependent on what Quicksilver is, not what the other item is. Of copy of another small non-legendary item you have for the fight. Runic Great Axe no longer, the enchantment of Deadly no longer gives it extra crit chance, but will give it double crit damage, which I think is a nice change, but Deadly on almost anything just means that you get extra crit chance on it, so it's also kind of confusing. I really wish they add to the game when you enchant things that it says what will change, especially for these kind of cases, because this could make your entire build. You're like, oh, this already has a lot of crit chance, I'm never going to put Deadly on this, but you should. If it has a lot of crit chance, I think this starts with 100 crit chance, I'm pretty sure it does, then this enchantment is insane. It's like Obsidian. No, it's not like Obsidian, you will deal double crit damage, so only the damage that you deal extra as crit, that will be doubled, so you deal triple damage when you crit instead of double damage when you crit. And Obsidian, I'm pretty sure it makes it so that you will deal 4 times the damage if you crit, so that would still be better, but this would still be pretty good. Yeah, the Great Axe has lifesteal and it says your lifesteal weapons have 100% crit chance. Definitely. You definitely still want to pick it up if you see the Deadly thing. So it's good that I read it here, because I would not assume that that is what would happen. Show Globe has been changed. It got buffed a lot. When you use a poison, this gains 3 instead of 1, 6 instead of 2, 9 instead of 3 burn. The same for regeneration for the fight. I think no one was using this, I guess. You use a potion, you get 9 regeneration and you win for 9. That is pretty awesome. The Sifting Pen says when you sell a catalyst, I mean, when you sell catalyst, it's kind of weird to say it like that, you get regeneration. That is nice, because most of your reagents you don't want to sell. That change is really nice. And at the start of the day, you get a catalyst instead of a small reagent. The Sunlight Spear now starts at 12 seconds, then goes to 11 and then goes to 10 seconds. If you level it up, instead of just being 11 seconds all the time. I don't know if this changes anything. I don't think so. And the Phenometer is now always 6 seconds instead of 6, 6 and then 5, 5. I don't think that is going to change anything either. Now we go on to the big medium items. And instead of this shielding for 5, 10 or 15, this will always shield for 20. I think that's a good change. And when you freeze shield items get even more shields for the fight. I do feel like this item definitely needed this buff. Because when I was playing big medium, sometimes I was trying to make like a freeze build work, but it's pretty hard. But it also might just be my lack of experience in playing freeze big medium. Either way, I almost never see this, so I'm not mad about this buff. Luxury Cures, I think that's how you pronounce it, I'm not sure, has been buffed. 7 seconds instead of 8 seconds, and we sell property, this gains a lot more value. This needed that buff. I was once trying to play this, and I was like, what am I even doing? This doesn't get a lot of value so fast at all. You can like maybe buff its value with like truffles, or maybe with like the cards when you go to vendors, that card and the item to the left, this gains more value. But still, I think this buff is really good, and I hope we can make a build around it now. And when you buy a property, it gains 3 value instead of 1. I like that. Thank you. Money Tree has been changed. It has been buffed. It's got a value tag and heals equal to this item's value instead of healing for 40. And when you sell spell change, this gains 1, 2, 3 or 4 extra value. I love this change. Do you still get a spell change when you level up? Because then you can just take this as an economy option. And also this item's cooldown is reduced by 1% for every value it has. It's an actual item now. Thank you. I like that. Ointment. It now also cleanses half of your burn and poison. In addition to healing? In addition to healing. That is amazing. Thank you. Nice. Cleansing half of your burn and poison next to healing is really nice. Especially in this meta where there's a mag that uses a lot of burn and poison. So that's actually where you lost a lot against as big medium. This can get you a little bit more time. Rope has been changed. It is now bronze and it goes now to 4 seconds and starts with 7 seconds. We start leveling this up from bronze to diamond. It shoots for 100 instead of a 20. And instead of giving your other shield items extra shield, it now says when you use an adjacent item, you charge this 1 second. Oh, interesting. So this got the yo-yo effect, but it is a medium item though. I'm not sure if this is a good change. And of course the enchantments have been changed because this has double shield bonus. It does not give bonuses anymore. It just has double shield now. Restorative is just as that this is removed, but I'm assuming it will heal equal to the shield. Same for toxic. It will now have poison equal to 10% of the shield. Same for burn. That's what I'm guessing. Maybe not. Maybe it cannot be enchanted like that. Because here it does say that it has been changed to 50% crit chance. The sauna has been buffed. When you burn, heal a lot more and gain a lot more regeneration for the fight. Nice. I've not made a build with this yet, and I really do want that. To make a build with it, so I'm happy that this gets a buff. I'm not entirely sure how strong it was though, and I'm not entirely sure if the buff makes it good enough right now, but I will definitely try this out. And the silk scarf has been buffed, because now it says when you sell another non-weapon item, this gains extra shield, like a lot more. I mean, not a lot, but 50% more than it used to give you. I still don't really know if it's a good item, but maybe getting this early on, just putting it in your backpack, and at the end you might be having a lot more skills. It can allow you to get a lot of chocolate bars, a lot of gumbos, and this could be maybe a really high shield item. We need to see how this plays out, but I would definitely pick it up and try to make a build around it the next time I see it. Sexual says when you overheal, shield instead of shielding and then healing equal to the shield. Wait, how did it change? I'm confused. Let me switch it up for 1 second. So it still heals equal to your shield, and when you overheal, you shield from... Oh wow, I like that, because usually you heal equal to your shield and then you shield a little bit, but now you need other cards to synergize with this, and I think that's a good, yeah, that's a good thing. So other cards can make you have more shield. I'm curious, if you increase the shield on every card on the board, will this also be increased? I think yes, that's definitely fun. Now we go on to Vanessa items, and Beast Ball has been buffed. You haste 2, and then 3 and 4, and then 5 items, aquatic or toy items for 2 seconds instead of 1, 2, 3 or 4. I already like this card. Okay, I think we'll be seeing a lot more beast balls in the future. The anglerfish now always has a cooldown of 8 instead of 10, and then 9 and then 8, and it burns for more when you upgrade. So you got a big buff, a big well needed buff by the way. It's a lot better because when you have only 8 seconds, when you slow charges 2 seconds, this will be a lot better, a lot faster, and then you actually get a good payoff when you level this up. I mean, leveling this up and then getting a decreased cooldown is also quite good, but compared to, for example, pufferfish, it always felt a little bit bad, and now it's exactly the same as pufferfish actually, and I think that's a good thing. Instead of hasting, slowing, instead of poisoning, burning, nice. So going on to the dive rates, it has been buffed. It now has 4 ammo instead of 3 ammo. I don't know if it needed this buff. I saw it a lot. I think it's nice. I've never played with this before, so maybe it does need this buff. And the diving helmet has been buffed as well. When you use an aquatic item, this gains, whoa, 10 instead of 5, 20 instead of 10 and 30 instead of 15 shields for the fight. Interesting. I'm curious if people are going to play this, because this is basically a shield item. It says that the items adjacent to this item are aquatic now, so we'll see. I do think it's a fun item though, giving tags to other items that maybe don't have the aquatic tag yet. Elemental depth charge. Cooldown gets reduced a lot more. Okay, I mean, I was losing to this card when I saw it, but maybe it's a little bit slow compared to what Meg is doing, for example. Not sure if I like the change though. The incendiary rounds have been changed, in that the shielded and a restorative enchantment have been changed. When you use an adjacent item, shield or heal, but instead of just shielding for 10 and healing for 10, it will now shield equal to 10 times this item's burn and heal equal to 10 times this item's burn. I mean, enchanted and a burn item with restorative and shielded would normally do something like this, so I think this is a good change. I did not even know it was just shield 15, F10 and heal 15. I think it should do this, yeah, definitely. Jellyfish now poisons for a lot more. Okay, Liar burns for a lot more. Okay, and the lighthouse starts at 10. But ends at 6. Okay, so in the beginning it's a little bit worse, but if you have this at diamond, it's a lot better, and burns a lot less than just 20. But at diamond, it's actually better. Before diamond, it's worse in every way. But it's such a fun card. How dare they? I was just looking up how pufferfish was. I guess it was the same. It already was the same as the burn one, but it got changed in the same way the burn one did. Now it's 8 seconds, and the poison increases every upgrade. Shipwreck got nerfed in the sense that instead of giving crit chance, your cooldowns, your aquatic items that this increases, like the gifts the multicast to, now have the cooldowns increased by 2 or 1 second. We just luckily had a build with this, but this is a lot, and I mean a lot worse. Okay, volcanic vents have been buffed. Not sure if it was needed, but it's now definitely an attractive option to choose in the early game. Yeah, we'll be definitely choosing this a lot more. Yeti crab has been buffed. When you freeze, adjacent poison items gain a lot more poison. The buff has been doubled. And this card, how do you pronounce that? Zorsit? Is that how you pronounce it? Zorzit? Okay, the cooldown is now 6 seconds instead of 7. Overall, I do like these changes. You have a lot more changes because you don't get your core anymore on day 1. Any other changes I will put in the description. If you know any other changes, please let me know. I will put it in the description, or I mean the description, as a comment as well. I will pin the comment that has all of the information. Let me know what you think of all of these changes, and I will see you in another video. Bye!